Hello, everybody. How are we this evening? Welcome to my kitchen for our festive gifts in the TM6, like what we did there. Thank you, Mandy, for organising tonight, because we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, and Mandy, I love her. She takes the bull by the horns and she just books stuff in. So here we are. There's 4 of us presenting, and we're all kind of making some of our favourite, we might break into song. These are a few of our favourite things. I promise you we won't, so stay on, please. My name's Michelle. I'm the local team leader and I'm based here in Bentley East, but we are all over sort of Bayside and central Melbourne this evening presenting to you. So that's a beauty of this business, especially since COVID. We can be on Zoom, we can be face-to-face. We have all these choices now. So you've got a lot of flexibility in the way you run your business. So if you're watching us tonight and you want to be a part of us, please reach out to whoever invited you, or just shoot me a message and I will let you in on a secret, which is our amazing business, and get you along to one of our business information sessions. So we are using the TM6 tonight. I noticed in the registration that a lot of you are already TM6 owners and you've come to learn more, so that's very exciting. But for those of you who are perhaps either earlier Thermomix models or haven't invested in a Thermomix yet, let me just swing my camera around and show you my little twins I've got over here. And we are going to cook some amazing things. So if you're a previous Thermomix owner, the transition is really easy from the point of view that the language is still time, temperature, speed. So it makes it really easy to cook. If you're new to Thermomix, the smart connected TM6 is just like using a smartphone. So it's very easy to adapt to using it. And most people kind of say even their kids are cooking. So that's the main reason to get it. Get you out of the kitchen, get them in the kitchen. So we've got a few things on tonight, so I won't talk too much, but I want to just share with you a couple of things. So we've got a really great offer for those who are thinking about investing in a TM6 until the end of this month, so only 9 days to go. We have the option to buy a second bowl with your Thermomix for only $29. Now, these are valued at $395. And it is so handy to have a second bowl. And in fact, one of the dishes I'm doing, I'll be using 2 bowls tonight. So I'm going to share more about that with you when I'm doing that. But the other thing is that if you have seen our cutter attachment, we have a hosting offer at the moment. Now, if you haven't seen it, Mandy's going to show it to you tonight, and seeing it is wanting it. So again, reach out to your consultant and ask about how you can get your hands on these offers. And if you're looking to join the team and you want a cutter, then you can earn one really easily with only 3 sales in your first 60 days with us as a consultant. The price of the Thermomix, if you're looking to invest in the TM6 now, is $2,579, and we do have different payment options available. So again, we can go through those with you, but one of them is an option to earn your TM6 by joining the team. So lots of exciting things there, and we'll touch on that throughout the night as well. Now, I'm going to bring you over, because I'm actually going to pop my dish on first this evening, because the first section of mine is a bit of a long cook. Just Charlotte, Mads, can you turn that light on, please, darling? I thought I was a bit dark. I normally put the other lights on. So I'm going to bring you close into the screen here for my first dish. So the thing that I'm doing first is a caramelized red onion chutney. Now, I make this every Christmas, and then sometimes I get in the year and go, oh, why don't I make this during the year as well? So then I put a batch on. It's a really simple dish, and it is one that you can only make in the TM6 because of the caramelization. So the TM6 has a high heat option where you can caramelize onions, brown meat, do sugar work. So you're going to see a lot of those things tonight. So let me get this dish on. I'm going to come into the screen. You won't see me for a minute, but you'll see the Thermomix in the screen. And I have saved this in our weekly planner. So those who are familiar with Thermomix and the TM6 will know that we have a platform called Cookie Do, which is basically our Netflix for recipes. So here's my recipe here. I can go into my recipe and have a look at the level of difficulty, the prep time, the total time, and the serving size. Don't worry about the fact that it says 24 hours. That's just the refrigeration time. I promise we won't keep you here for that long. Down the left-hand side, your ingredients to get them ready. The right-hand side is your method. And when you're ready to go, you just press start cooking. So it's very, very intuitive. So I've got the olive oil here. What you will notice with the TM6 is it does weigh in 1 gram increments. So for those who are quite chefy, and particularly for baking, I know it's not as essential for savoury cooking, but particularly for baking, it is really great to have that 1 gram increment option. The next ingredient is my red onions. Now you'll see that I've sort of cut these into wedges. Now I had 3 different onions, so the wedges are all different sizes. It doesn't matter. So once you go with that, you're just going to pop it all in there. Now I'm slightly over, but 10 grams over is absolutely fine. So we're not going to worry too much about that. Now it's asking me to pop the lid on and the splash guard. So the splash guard here is a TM6 specific safety item, and it's only TM6 specific because it's to do with the high heat, and you can only do that in the TM6. So it just fits on top of the lid instead of the measuring cup, and I have to say done on the screen there to say that I've done. And you can see this mode. I'm going to bring you back in. I'm not making you too dizzy there. High heat mode, and it's 20 minutes. So I'm going to pop that on, and that's going to sizzle away. Now, I'm going to go to someone else now, but what I'll just tell you about that, and others are using it as well, is that it replicates high heat in a fry pan. So in a fry pan, you put your onions in, give them a stir through the oil, and then you let them sizzle. And then you give them another stir. So this replaces you standing there doing that, waiting for the sizzle stirring. So the blades will actually stop stirring in this process to let them sizzle on the high heat at the bottom of the bowl, and then it'll give them another stir. How cool is that? All righty, so who are we going to next? I think we're going to Diana. Let me see where. Oh, there she is. Hey,
I had to unmute myself. Well, hello, everyone, and a special hello to my customers who have jumped on. So I am going to make, I always forget what it's called, the salted chocolate caramel fudge. Now, I made this for the first time last year. I am not a fudge person, but when I tried this, oh my gosh, it's divine. And it is the most perfect gift to give someone, but also I just wanted to point out, it's a great little sweet treat to actually make and keep in your fridge at home, because it does last for quite some time. You know, when it's that time of year, sometimes you get people popping over and you just want to pop something out or whip something out or even gift something to someone. This is a great recipe that you can make ahead, and it is absolutely delicious. So, and it's so quick and easy too, like hardly any work. So the first step we need to do is just to line a square tin. So I've just got this old tin, but any small tray will be fine. So I've just lined that with just some grease-proof paper. Now, the recipe asks for some milk chocolate, I think it is. So I've actually got dark chocolate, and I just wanted to point out the recipe asks for 170. Now, you can make all different flavored fudge using this same recipe. So you can use your normal dark, 70% milk, or white. You could even make caramel fudge. That would be delicious as well. And the good thing about this is the amount that you need is basically a block minus 2 squares. So that's what you have to eat anyway. So, or you can just put the whole block in. So I'm just going to pop that in there and pop the lid on and just turn the dial. That is it. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I always like the preview button, which you'll find there when something is happening, because then that way I can get my next lot of ingredients ready if need be. So that has actually just chopped up my chocolate beautifully and finely. If you're ever making a hot chocolate, it's really nice to just blitz up some chocolate and mix it up with warm milk. You can do that, you know, if you're just warming up milk in the microwave, but there's great hot chocolate recipes in here as well. Now, it is asking me to pop that into another bowl, but I'm not going to right now. The reason being is that this step is asking for 395 grams of condensed milk. So I've always made this with condensed milk that I bought from the supermarket. So any brand, Tim, whether, you know, any brand of sweetened condensed milk. But for the first time today, I actually made condensed milk. And I could not believe how quick and easy it was. And it's a bit embarrassing being a Thermomix consultant and not having made it already, but we're always learning. And I actually tipped it out and weighed it, and it did come to 395. So if you ever run out of condensed milk, it's very quick and easy to make. I've just popped it in this jar here, so I'm just going to empty it back into the bowl which I made it in. And this is the beauty about owning more than one bowl. And the mix shop currently has 20% off. So if you only have one bowl and you're thinking of investing in another, this is a wonderful time because you'll get a great discount on that. And once you have 2 bowls, there is no going back. So if you were to make this recipe, what you could do is whiz up your chocolate and then make your condensed milk, let that cool down, and then continue on, and you won't have to take things out. So it's a lot more smooth going. Now, next step is 160 grams of brown sugar. Now, funnily enough, if you don't have brown sugar, you can actually make your own brown sugar in the Thermomix, which is pretty cool. And 120 grams of salted butter. So, and that's just diced, popped into there. And 75 grams of golden syrup. Now, I actually did buy my golden syrup, but that's another item that if you don't have, you can actually make in your Thermomix. So the beauty about owning a Thermomix is that if you ever find yourself over this period when you're entertaining or you're cooking and you've run out of something, just double check and cookie do, because you might be able to make it yourself. And it just saves you that trip. Because, you know, you'll go out to the shops for one thing and come back with a big basket of other stuff. Now, so this is liquid glucose, and you can get that from the baking section in your supermarket. And I just wanted to point out, because I do have some of my customers who are celiac or follow a gluten-free diet, that I'm pretty sure that if you ensure that all these items that you use are gluten-free, that this caramel fudge is gluten-free. Just double check the items that you're using, but it should be. So there we go. Sorry, that's the most trickiest part of this recipe, is having to deal with that liquid glucose. Okay, 5 pinches of sea salt. So I did a few big ones. This is a cute little salt container. You can pick that up from the mix shop. I absolutely love it. And then we're just going to pop the lid on. And I just realized I don't have my serving basket. Here we go. So it's just asking us to pop that simmering basket on there and then turn the dial to speed 3. And for 8 minutes, that's just going to cook away. So as you can see, it's a really quick recipe. You throw everything in. And I guess we've got time to go to someone else.
Thank you, Diana. We will shoot
you.
over to the gorgeous Mandy, who has got another amazing recipe for us. Hey, Mandy.
Thank you very much. Now, I just want everyone to see this and just put a thumbs up in the chat if you agree with what it says on my apron.
That is the best apron.
Just, yeah. Anyway, welcome to my kitchen. So what I'm actually going to make today is the Chilli Crunch using the Thermomix Cutter. And so I'm going to show you how the cutter works, and we'll do some chopping and then finish it off with some more high heat. So let's just come to the screen here. I've got my Chilli Crunch here. So it says sterilise a glass jar with a lid, and I'll talk about that a little bit further on. And then it asks you to place a bowl on top. I have done all the weighing. Now, I don't know if you've seen these, seeing as we're plugging the mix shop. These are the best bowls. They come in 3 sizes. They're non-slip. They've got a handle. They've got a pouring spout, and they've also got measurements on the inside of them. But that's what I always use on the top of my Thermomix when I'm measuring in. So I had to measure in 120 grams of chilies. It does say a mix of red and green, but I didn't read that, so it's all red. 20 grams of spring onions, so I've just got that like that. And those of you who know me know there's the whole zero waste philosophy. So I just wanted to say that you can plant these little jiggers, all right, and grow some more. And all the green ends, don't throw them away. Chop them up, put them in with your next lot of stock, or, you know, put them into something like a zucchini slice. So don't waste anything. 15 grams of garlic. Now, when I was reading this earlier today, I thought it said 15 garlic cloves. I got a bit carried away there. So it is 15 grams of garlic, 15 grams of ginger, and now it's asking me to use the cutter. So with our amazing Thermomix cutter, we have a drive shaft, and that just sits over your blades. Now, there's only one way it can sit, so it's not sitting snugly there. But if I put it the other way, it's sitting really snugly on the blades. So that goes in first. Then we have this basket which sits in. And the great thing about that is it actually keeps the rest of your bowl nice and clean. Next, it's asking me to put the cutting disc with side 2. So the cutter has 2 cutting discs. This is it's a bit hard. I think you can probably just see there. This is side 1. It has it's the slicing. It has 2 thicknesses of slices, and this is side 2, and that grates. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's done it. But again, it's 2 different thicknesses. If you have a TM5, you just always do on speed 4. If you have a TM6, even if you haven't found it yet, you have a mode which is going to come up in the recipe. Okay, so it's asking me to put side 2 up. So the reason you do that is because that's what we want to grate. So that goes upwards in the lid. Lid goes on like that. Okay, and it's asking me to put the ginger into the narrow part. So the funnel here has 2 sizes. I actually use the small part for both of them. But if you were doing potatoes, it's obviously got to fit through there, but you'd want to use the bigger side rather than the smaller side. Okay. Ginger. So I've got my ginger. It's just going in. And then here it's asked me to turn the selector to thin. I've got thin and thick. Now, thin is actually on reverse. It's interesting, then they never put the timer on that, but if that is like, you know, it's not even a second, I reckon. I'm going to show you what that looks like because that is the grating. Can you see the grate there? So if you think of a salad sandwich and think of the carrots you'd get in a salad sandwich, that's the sort of grate we have there. I'm just going to put that into the, let's clear that off. Oops, there. All right, so my ginger is now sitting in there and you can see it's great. It's not a huge amount. More's the pity, I love ginger. But of course, you know, it's your recipe, you can do what you like. Then next it's asking me to put side 1 up. So this is the slicing. So I'm popping the slice in there. And put the chilies in. So I'm going to feed the chilies through. And it's asking me to turn to thick. The only thing I would say with that is if you have glasses, it's quite a good thing because you do get a few chili, you know, seeds coming towards you. All right, now it wants me to do the spring onions in there. So I'm just going to put them in together. On thin. And last but not least, it's asked me to put the garlic. It says in the wide part, but I actually put it in the small part. That's on thin. All right, so let's have a look in there and see what we've ended up with. Okay, so now you can see that. I'll tell you what, it is seriously potent, but let me just get a piece of garlic. That's how thin the garlic is. That's actually 2 pieces together. You can see the chili, you can see everything in there. Let me just check. Diana, do we need to come back to you or can I just keep going?
Sorry, I've just got 52 seconds. And then the next step I need to do is just scrape down the bowl, pop the simmering basket back on, and then it's going to cook for another 20 minutes. So you probably don't need to see that.
Okie doke. All right. Well,
yeah.
What about you, Michelle?
No, I've still got 6 minutes. So
Okay, all right, I'll keep going then.
you keep going. Yeah.
Yep, cool. So next, it's asked, this is really, really important. When you have a cutter, when you've finished using it, take this out, right? We know how powerful the blades are. That absolutely has to come out. Then it's asking me to put everything from here into the Thermomix bowl. So I'm just going to scrape all that out. So that's the garlic, the ginger, the chili, and the spring onion. There we go. 100 grams of grapeseed oil. One to 2 tablespoons of Sichuan peppercorns. I've just used peppercorns because that's what I have. Half a star anise. And some salt, which is also in this little container here. So I'll put all that in. And it asks me to distribute them over the base. So there we go. And I'm just going to go now into the high heat, which is what Michelle was using. And this cooks. So again, I put the splash guard on top. And now it's going to cook for 20 minutes on the high heat. And I'll tell you what, I made some of this earlier. Oh my goodness, the smell is incredible. Okie doke.
Mandy, I just thought I might actually just show everyone what my fudge is looking like so far. So it's starting to get that nice caramelly kind of color. And so all the recipe is asking me is just to scrape down the sides of the bowl. Now, you can do this with the regular spatula that you get with the Thermomix, but one consultant got me onto this spatula, which you can pick up from the mix shop. And I just find I really love using it whenever I'm doing any sort of baking. It's just a little bit easier. So I just thought I'd point that out, that, you know, we've got other great products from the mix shop if you need them. And it's one of those things that you think, oh, wow, that is actually really handy. So I've just scraped that down. And all we need to do is pop that back on. Pop the lid, simmering basket back on, turn the dial, and off it cooks for another 20 minutes. So hands-free. And then after that, all we need to do is add that chocolate. It has a mix and pour it into the tin. So I'm all good for the next 20 minutes.
Thank you very much. Well, what I might do is be a bit cheeky. Actually, no, let's go to Julie, because Julie has got a delicious dish and it'll only take her a few minutes to put it on. And then that, I reckon, will be about when my onions are ready. So hi, Jules.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julie, and this is so easy to make. So if you've never made lemon curd, I'm telling you, you need to make it, okay? And it's as easy as, it's probably a recipe that, like, ingredients that you probably normally have in your house. So you've got eggs, lemon juice, butter, and sugar, and that's all you need. And you've got lemon curd. I did also post the keto lemon curd. So if you want, you can make it keto friendly, and I guarantee you will not even know it's keto friendly. So normally I find that after a few days, the keto one actually caramelizes on the top. So I call it creme brulee lemon curd, if that's impossible, but just letting you know, it tastes absolutely delicious. So I'm going to bring you really nice and hopefully bring you close to here. So hopefully you can see that okay. And I will show you just how easy it is to make lemon curd. So first of all, we've all had a look at, you know, the recipe been shown, you know, how you can look at your recipe, but there is also nutritional value. But I think when it comes to Christmas time, we ignore that part because we don't want to look at the sugar contents, okay? But it is there if you want to, you know, calorie count or anything like that. So first step's just asking us to clean and rinse some syllable storage jars. So I've got that. Next one is 240 grams of sugar. Okay. I know it sounds like a lot of sugar, but I promise you, it's really not too bad considering like how much lemon juice you're putting in. So 150 grams of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Now, when it's in season, I must admit, I sometimes like to freeze my lemon juice. If you want to do that, my suggestion is let it thaw completely, because it does, I find that it does kind of change the consistency of your lemon curd. So if you want to do that, that's fine, but just let it thaw completely. 120 grams of butter. There we go. Just like Diana, this is the spatula that I like to use for baking. I have no clue why, but I just like the same thing. It's just nice and slim and it just works well. Okay, and 3 eggs, okay? Next, and then all I basically have to do is cut the measuring cup and lid. Next, and then I'll do a thickener mode. So I'll just say for at 80 degrees, it's just going to thicken that. So basically, how thick is that? So you could have, in 10 minutes, instant lemon curd. So what I would do is, when that's all cooked, I'll show you, you know, what you can do with your lemon curd, whether you want to just put them in little jars or pipe it in, things like that. I will show you. How easy was that?
Love it, Jules. Do you know, I never even tried lemon curd until a few years ago, and oh my God, it was dangerous.
Oh, it's dangerous. I put on my scones. I would probably just eat on its own. I'm just making excuses, but I would just have it on its own.
Yeah, or just on a spoon.
Yeah, I know.
And there's a great recipe in Cookie Do called Edna's Lemon Curd Tea.
That is delicious.
Now, I have to say that slowly. I challenge any of you to say it really fast and see how it sounds, because I think it always comes out wrong. But anyway, that's just me being childish. As you can hear, my onions are ready. So thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon with your finished lemon curd. We might go to Julie and she'll be just like drinking her lemon curd from the jug. All right, so the next step of this recipe is super simple, but let me just show you the onions and things. Again, a bit like Mandy said, I wish you could smell it, but these are I'm fogging up my glasses, my caramelized onions. So that's one of those things that, and you'll actually, I don't know if I'll be able to show you, but you can kind of see the caramelization on the bottom of the bowl there. That's where all your flavor is. So that's, you know, really replicating what happens in your fry pan. You get that sort of caramelization on the bottom, and I'm just scraping that up with the spatula and just stirring it through the onions. But once you cook this with the rest of the ingredients, that's not there. All that flavor's up into the chutney, which is really delicious. So again, a bit like Julie's recipe, it's really only a few ingredients, and they're all very simple ingredients. So again, it's Christmas, so we're not counting the sugar. 200 grams of sugar, in it goes. Next ingredient, 200 grams of, spilled a bit, red wine vinegar, which I measured and thought, it's a bit dangerous me putting that in the gravy boat, and I was right. In it goes. Pour slow, because otherwise it'll, you know, go everywhere. There we go. Good job, Michelle. Well done. And some chili. Now, the chili's optional. Last year, I made some for my dad, and he's not a fan of chili, and I actually just left that out. And there is actually enough flavour with those caramelised red onions and the sugar and the vinegar to make a really nice chutney. But I have put the chili in, and there's a teaspoon of salt there as well, which is the next step of the recipe. So I just figure put all that in together. Beautiful. And salt. And that's it. And now that's actually going to cook for 25 minutes. So I'm going to pop that on. Don't worry. I do have one I made earlier to show you. But in the meantime, I'm going to sit those over there out of my way. What we thought, this wasn't actually on the original menu. However, in a couple of weeks, we do early family Christmas, and I always make the pavlova. So put your hand up if you're the pavlova person in your house. So as a result of that, I kind of went, depending on how we're going for time tonight, I think we're going pretty well, I could actually show a pavlova as well. So, oh, yay, thanks, Karen. Now, there's one. I just need to grab a sponge here and wipe that down because all that vinegar's everywhere. There we go. So I thought I'd do a bit of pavlova. How do you feel about that, guys? Who wants to see that? Excellent. Now, as I mentioned before that I was going to talk about the benefit of the 2 jugs. So part of the pavlova recipe is that you mill the sugar at the start. So coming on in here, I was actually into the recipe because I was just pulling some things out before. So let's go into my pavlova. My accessories here. Now, one of the things with the pavlova is that you do want to make sure you've got a nice, clean, dry bowl. So I have got 2 bowls here. It's cutting my head off. There we go. Preheat the oven, so I've already done that, and line a baking tray, and I've done that. Now, you notice I've got a rectangular baking tray. I make a rectangular pad because I find it's a bit easier. I spread it out, and it's a bit easier to divide up in the family. It's a bit harder for someone to say someone else got more than them. So first we're going to mill the sugar. So 200 grams of white sugar. Beautiful. Now, girls, if any of you have something to show while I'm doing this, sing out, because obviously we're not going to see a cooked pad tonight. I'm just showing the process of until that bit. And in fact, in this next 15 seconds, if anyone wants to chat, because what we're going to do is mill the sugar. Now, for those who are new to Thermomix completely, the milling is up at speed 9 and 10, and you're over 10,000 RPM. Just to give you a little bit of a benchmark around that, if you've got a domestic food processor or blender, most of them sit around 1,000 RPM. So your Thermomix is 10 times more powerful than a standard domestic food processor or blender. Here we go.
Just to add to what Michelle said, for 10,700 RPM is actually the same as a small jet engine. So that shows you how powerful the Thermomix actually is. It's incredible. Should be finished yet?
Did anyone sing or dance while I was doing that?
No, I was just telling them that 10,700 RPM is the same as a small jet engine.
Oh, there you go. Exactly. All right, I've got to do another batch, but I just thought but if you just have a bit of a look there, I've turned that into beautiful icing sugar. Now, we have a little segment in our team that we call Confessions of a Thermomix Consultant. So my confession is that if I'm in a hurry to make my pav, I do buy icing sugar, but I buy the pure icing sugar, and it just makes it super quick for me to get on. But that's just in Confessions of a Thermomix Consultant. But obviously tonight I went, oh gosh, I've got no sugar. And then I went, oh, yep, I have. And I'll be milling it myself. So we're all good. The cool thing about this, so our Christmas day is actually on the 10th of December. So it's a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to mill this, but in a moment, I'm going to tell you a story about how long I had a pad in the pantry once. All right, 15 more seconds on speed.
So I'd love to see what you guys are planning on making. If there's any gifts that you particularly like making for friends or family. I mean, I think one of the wonderful things that we can do is it makes it really easy to do this. And, you know, a gift made with love is far better than anything else, I reckon.
But it's also a great Christmassy activity. I love making gingerbread men with my kids. They absolutely love it. And that's also really nice because they keep really well. You know, to have a few at home in case somebody pops over. They make great lunchbox treats as well. But I know that's something that I do with my family every year is make gingerbread. And then you get through halfway of the following year and you just think you don't have to wait until Christmas to make gingerbread. You can make gingerbread men all year round, but they're absolutely delicious. And the recipes in Cookie Do, I think there's a few of them. I just use the first recipe that comes up and absolutely love it. And I think we did that in our Christmas in July cooking class. I think, Julie, you made them, didn't you?
Oh, yes, I made the gingerbread. I think I made the mistake of one year when promising the kids to make them for both classes and their siblings as well.
Yeah, I've done that. I've been guilty of that. Yeah. And sometimes at Easter, I'll make the gingerbread men into little bunnies and put a little smarty eye and hand that out to the kids, and they love that too. And I find it a bit easier and quicker than making sugar cookies, because sugar cookies you have to refrigerate, whereas the gingerbread men you just whip up really quick. Off to you, Michelle. Sorry.
They're very robust, the gingerbread. Don't worry, you can come back to that in a minute when I'm adding the sugar. Now, it said clean and thoroughly clean and dry mixing bowl. That obviously takes a bit of time. Much easier if you can just grab out your spare bowl. which I've done. So, and then it says insert your butterfly whisk. Now, a lot of people do recommend doing a vinegar clean prior to doing pavlova. So my Thermomix, this jug had just come out of the dishwasher, so I know it's beautifully clean. So now next says 250 grams of egg whites, which is approximately 8 eggs, and it does say at room temperature. So I did these a little bit earlier. I didn't think anybody needed to watch me do that.
Michelle, is that extra large or large eggs?
I buy large, not extra large.
Large.
So if you had extra large, you probably only need 6.
Yep, just want to check.
So my tip around that would be, though, is crack each one into its own glass. Don't be sort of transferring them in at the same time, because if your 8th egg, you get a bit of yolk in, you've got to get rid of all of it. So I had two glass bowls and then a glass that I was cracking them into, putting the white in, and then the yolk was going in that one. And I'm going to make a creme brulee with the yolks. So, but then transferring that individual egg white into the bowl and then doing it that way. So it's a little bit tedious, but it's much less tedious than if you wreck it and you've got to start from scratch. And of course, again, none of us like waste. So the thought of throwing out 8 egg whites would be quite upsetting. So
a lot of scrambled eggs the next day, isn't it?
Well, that's exactly right. So pinch of cream of tartar. So just going to put a tiny bit on the tip of the spoon to not stick my fingers in there. Very simple. And on goes the lid. And it's 5 minutes on speed 3.5. So for this 5 minutes, it's actually just going to whip up the egg whites. So at the moment, and I don't know if you can hear, can we hear that sound? And I'll sort of hear it as it starts to sort of thicken, and you'll notice that the peaks will start to burn. So that's actually 3.5 minutes. So I think we'll go, unless Julie or Diana have something to show. I know Mandy's got some great little things that she's picked up this week as far as gifting jars and different things. So Mandy's got a couple of things. So
I've got 5.5 minutes, but when I'm ready, I have to act fast. So whoever's
sing out when you're ready, just feel the show.
Jumping. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Perfect. But in the meantime, we'll go and see the lovely Mandy and her there we go. And
it's Michelle. So I love Christmas. I have to say, for a few years I worked in a Christmas shop when not much money came home because I bought a lot of really nice things there. And I was out the other day, and I know they actually had these a while ago, but Aldi still had some really great little Christmas things. So I'm going to show you what they are. They're great containers that you could put cookies in, or anything that would be, consumable for Christmas, whether it's bliss balls or whatever. So I'm just going to grab them. They have different sizes, but what I love, they're glass, and this is like a bamboo top. All right, so it's just a glass jar. They've got the big, so $6.99 for this, plus this one, plus that one. So, I think it's just really nice when you're giving a gift and it's a homemade gift. You put it in something like that, it looks really cool. They've also got different shapes. And of course I had to buy them. So they've got these, which I thought would be really good for cookies as well. Fresh. So again, that's just the timber. So there's no plastic in this, and the slightly smaller one too. And they've got a really good seal. So yeah, love Aldi, yeah. Absolutely. The other thing that I got last year, and I actually forgot to check, but these were from IKEA, and they were a pack of 3. I can't honestly remember how much they were, but they were pretty reasonable. I bought quite a few packs, but they're just really cute little jars. I did, as I said, I made this chili crunch earlier today, and I put it into one of these. However, I'm thinking that looks more like a sweet thing, really, but that's really cool. And just a couple of other little ideas that I had. Again, with packaging, you can get these little bento boxes. Just put, line them, put cookies and things in there. And these are just things that I've kept off, old Christmas crackers, perhaps off a Lynn bunny. But all these sorts of things you can use to decorate your gifts. So might as well, as Michelle said, we don't like throwing things away, so we'll just reuse it. And finally, I've just got a few other little things. So I do a couple of markets. Saw Melinda was on. I normally see her at Dingley Market. And I will just show you a couple of things that I made to take along to those. So this is Michelle Moss's nut butter. Okay. So Michelle created this recipe, put it in the Thermomix recipe community. And now, of course, if you've got a TM6, you can import it into Cookie Do, into your creative recipes, and I can now cook this off the screen. So that's just showing you a beautiful nut butter. And if you like the little label, all you need to do is go to Avery, get Avery labels. And if you just Google Avery, they have these little templates and you can make your own labels. So that's pretty cool. So the nut butter is a really nice gift as well. Blueberry jam. Basil pesto. And then I went to the source today to get a few ingredients. And I noticed in there, they have jars like this, which are for making bliss balls. Now, they charge $19.95 for a jar like this to make your own bliss balls. So you can do this with cookies, for cookies and things as well. So I'm getting a bit chilly down my throat here, the chili smell. So the really important thing, if you make, a bliss ball thing like this, all you had to do was add a little bit of coconut oil and then blitz it all up, and then you'll have some really nice bliss balls. Whether it's the bliss balls or cookies, what you have to do is put the finest thing at the bottom. So if it's cookies, you'd have your flour at the bottom, okay, and you'd go up from there. So you might have choc chips. If you're putting almonds in, they'd be further up. So the finer things must be at the bottom, because if you think about it, if you put them at the top, they're just going to make their way down through all the little cracks, through whatever else is there. But, this just a few little ingredients I had in the pantry as opposed to $19.95.
That's a huge saving, isn't it? And it's such a lovely gift. How's your time, Diana? I'm guessing you're...
I'm just like, I've got just over 20 seconds left.
Yeah,
so
go for it. I'm done. I'm done.
Right, let's go to you just because I know that that's very time sensitive.
Yes, because the fudge does set quite quickly. So I've just got my tray ready there. Got 8 seconds. But this is pretty easy and foolproof, so I don't want to freak anyone out or anything like that.
No, but it makes sense. If you leave it in the jug, it'll set in the jug, and then you just
that's right. So I'm just going to pop in that chocolate straight in there. And like I said, the recipe does say milk chocolate, but you can use whatever chocolate you like to make whatever flavors you want. You could even probably put some flavored essence, so a bit of peppermint oil if you wanted like a minted fudge. If you didn't want to, where's my MC? So if you didn't want that salt component, you can leave that out and add some oils or something like that. So I've only got just over 10 seconds there. And then what we're going to do straight away is pour that into our tin. And then I like to use a spatula like this. You can pick them up from the mix shop or any kitchen stores and just kind of smooth that over. So I'll just show you what that looks like. So just get your spatula. Sometimes you might have a little bit of chocolate on the side that didn't go through. So give that a bit of a stir. And then we're going to, just try and get that camera on there. Pour that in there. That looks so good. If only you could smell this. So delicious. And I might do Julie's trick. I think she mentioned if you've got ganache left over in your bowl, pop some milk and you can make a nice hot chocolate or smoothie out of that. I think I might do the same with this. So I'm just moving nice and quickly.
That looks so delicious already.
I am salivating. And guess who gets to lick the bowl? Because I've got one asleep, the other one's out.
And think about your hot chocolate after as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I'm just pushing that across. I think I must have been a bit slower with the other batch and I needed to use that spatula, but that's actually pretty okay. Do you know what? I'm not even going to wipe that off because I want to lick that
I was
after.
just about to say, wouldn't you save that and lick it?
Yep. Oh, I'll just pop my, I'm
Some
just
better.
gonna do that for myself. And then the last step, so that's my, I don't want to tip that because that's pretty nice and flat. And then I've got some little flake salt. So while that is still warm and kind of sticky, I'm just going to put a bit of flake salt on top. Now, I'm not
Can you
even.
just slide your tin back towards you a little bit, please, Dana?
Oh, oh.
No, back towards you. Yeah, there.
Yep. I will lift up my laptop just so you can see.
Yeah, beautiful.
I'm not even a salted caramel person. But oh my gosh, this is just to die for. Here, I'll lift this up. Can you see that?
Yeah, beautiful.
I'm coming over because I'm definitely a salted caramel person.
Oh yeah, you're going to love this. Now, I will show you one that I have made.
Hey, Diana, can I
Yep.
just steal the show for a second? Because I just want to show, I'm just going to add me, because I need to add my sugar, but I just want to show, this is the first step, and these are my egg whites.
Oh wow,
How good do they look?
that's
So
awesome.
Amazing.
Step, so that's 3.5 minutes. The next step says without the measuring cup, because no one needs to watch me do this whole process, but so I can get on with it. And then it says 5 minutes. And then as you go, it says slowly add reserved icing sugar through the hole in the lid. So I'm going to turn that to speed 4. And then while Diana keeps showing you her things, I'm just gradually going to be adding the icing sugar into the egg whites. Okay, back to you, Diana. I will.
So funny because pavlova is one of those things that I just make around Christmas, New Year's, and then I forget about it all year. And I just think, why don't we make it more often? It's a great way to eat fruit. So this is the salted caramel fudge that I made earlier today. This one was actually made using milk chocolate. So just see if I've got that other one. This was made using dark chocolate. I don't want to really tip that. And you can see that one's a little bit darker. And then I've just popped that in the fridge and then just got a sharp knife and then cut that up into little squares because I find it is quite rich and it is kind of nice to have it like a little bit of a petite four. So it does, you know, if you're at a party or something, you can actually cut them up into quite a few pieces and all you need is a couple of squares and it's fine. But it's a great little gift to make and then you can pop them in little cellophane or, you know, you can buy little bags from $2 shops. They just make great gifts. But like I said, they do keep in the fridge. I have a special tin about that size that I keep it in the fridge for a couple of weeks. So if anyone pops over or if you do need a little sweet treat, oh gosh, I'm salivating. It is so good. I licked the bowl earlier today and it was absolutely delicious. So put your hand up if you're going to give this a go because I as I said, I'm not even a salted caramel or even a fudgy kind of person. I think I prefer just chocolate, but this is so good. And it's one of those things you make at Christmas time, you think, why don't I make this more often? Because this would be perfect in winter as well. So who's next?
Awesome. I know you've got lots to share, Julie, but I just want to show my hold on. How do I replace spotlight? Just want to show the chili mixture before I put it. I don't know if you can see that. I'll tell you what's strong, but it is just incredible. I'm going to pop it into a little jar. So just really important when you're putting something hot into a jar, just make sure you heat the jar so that you don't crack the glass. That's it. I'll do that and we'll go over to.
All right. So mine is all cooked. Like I said, it was so easy. So once we do this, I'll show you some of the things that you can get at Mix Shop right now. So I've got my little jar funnel. So this is really handy if you want to use it for jam. I'll be honest, I actually haven't used it overly a lot. Because by the time I got it, I realized that I could actually use my lid. So I just want to show you just how easy it is if you wanted to do that. So let's pop this down like so. You can just grab this, okay? Put it upside down. Okay. You can flip it the other way around, but I've always done it this way, only because I'm worried, like I don't want any of the dirty stuff to drip there. And then you just basically, you've got your funnel. And because you've already used it to cook, why not use that? So saves the washing. Okay, so then you think, It's so neat. Doesn't matter if you make, you know, a little bit of mess or anything. It's just nice and neat like so. Okay, so that's one. Okay, so this is fantastic if you want to gift anyone. I'll move this aside. Okay. I actually use this pie-in pen. This is a cupcake pen, but I use it for like whenever I've got any sauces or things like that. I wait for the lemon curd to cool down a little bit, just so that way, you know, you don't want it to touch it when it's really hot. So got a few different options here. Got a little jar. I've got little stickers I got ages ago from internet. So if you wanted to, this is perfect for if you want to, you know, give someone like, you know, little jam spreads. I think it would go well with the Chilli Crunch and some, you know, salted caramel and everything. I'll wait for that to cool down. This is actually the first time I've cheated and brought little pastries, and I don't think I'm going to buy them ever again. They were so expensive, and they're a little thick, but just for the purpose of showing you today what you could do with it, I thought I would get some. So you can type, you know, tarts. And look at that. How professional does that look? I mean, once that sets, how good's that? You've got little hearts here. So you can imagine like if you did this and then like you can pop it, you know, and just serve that. I'm like Mandy, I don't like to waste stuff. So there was some meringues that were broken up. So if you really wanted to, you could just pop that on top if you wanted to. Or I was thinking, why not do like a deconstructed, okay, meringue. So get any biscuit, whether it's, you know, like a Marie biscuit or whatever biscuit you like to use. I think also the butterscotch is very nice. Okay, so pop a little bit of here, lemon curd, pop a little bit of meringue. And the good thing about this is there is actually no rules. Okay, so you can pop it in whichever order you like. Okay, so you can just keep topping it up with different, you know, different layers. Oops.
That's such a great idea, Julie.
Yeah, and then you think you could imagine like if you've got a party, it comes with a little lid. I actually got these years ago, and I've just got so many. So just think like how easy is that? Like that is some different options you've got here. So oops, I better do the meringue this. This one I reckon, you know, unfortunately I don't think we can keep this one overnight because, you know, hot lemon curd on meringue, I might have to eat this one, you know. So
I was just about to say you're going to have to eat that.
Oh, what a pity! What a pity! But I reckon if you put, you know, pop a little bit of, you know, I reckon strawberries. I forgot to do that actually. Cut some strawberries, I think. Pop that on top. But just how simple is that? So just with this, we've got a few different options. I'll lift it up just so we can see a little bit better. There we go. So we've got, look how many options we've got. We can make, you know, lemon jam, meringues, tarts, little bite sizes, and a deconstructed, you know, lemon meringue, lemon curd, whatever you want to call it. Just with making basic lemon curd in less than 15 minutes.
You are
Brilliant.
so clever, Julie.
Really is.
That is awesome. Can I just quickly jump in here? Because I thought I would do your trick and show everyone the most delicious salted caramel.
Oh, yeah.
Chocolate. I don't know what you call this.
Hot salted caramel chocolate.
Fudge smoothie?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God, that is so good. I think just make the fudge so you can have one of these. This is delicious.
So.
It's going to be the next big thing in Starbucks or wherever if they haven't invented this already. So
you can actually have that hot or cold too, I guess.
Oh, yeah, like warm it really. Oh, do you know what? This would actually be nice with a bit of liqueur because it really warmed the cockles if you needed to. I guess. But that is delicious. So I just thought I would show you. And I didn't, Julie, I didn't know your little trick, but I think I read 60 degrees, you said. I had it for about a minute and a half on speed 6, and that was perfect because it's at the right temperature to drink. You get that beautiful froth up the top. I just couldn't find the right glass because that just annoys me that that's empty and I should have put more milk in there. But everyone, give that a go. That's a great idea. So if you've ever got salted caramel fudge in there or any chocolate ganache or anything like that, pop some milk and whiz it up with some bit of heat.
Yum.
And I think try and make it when the
Find
kids
out.
aren't
This is
home.
why I'm talking so fast. Sorry.
Try and make it when the kids aren't home so you can actually enjoy it yourself.
Oh, I am. Like I said, it's just me down here now. So yeah, all mine.
We might have to run around the block before bed to run that sugar off, Diana.
I think so. There's plenty of ironing and washing to do, so I might get onto that.
Love it, love it. All right, so all my sugar's in. My pavlova now looks very glossy. Thank you, Diana. Look at you. We need to give you a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, did you show us your finished one?
Spot it in, you know, spotlight yourself.
Say that again. Yeah, hang on. Oh, here I am.
That's it. Yeah, there you are.
So, all right, so now it looks like this. So you might remember before it looked more marshmallowy. Now it's getting that gloss. So there's only 30 seconds to go. Now with this bit, my advice is to get the items that you need ready, because it actually gives you, well, there's two tips I've got here. One is to get them ready in advance. So it says without measuring cup. And then when you go to the next step, it says it's got 30 seconds. And then when you press go, or turn the dial to go, it says add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of, sorry, not vanilla, vinegar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 2 tablespoons of corn flour. Now, if you don't have those ready, there's no way you're going to run around your kitchen and get them ready in 30 seconds. So get them ready in advance. But the other little tip is that you can, because I always feel a bit pressured to do things in 30 seconds, go into your time and just increase that a little bit. And then if you do it in the 30 seconds, you can stop it. But I usually put it up to about 45. I just feel like it takes the pressure off. Because, you know, there's enough pressure in our life without the pavlova creating pressure. So there we go. That's my little tip there. So we're going to go to speed 3 as per the instructions. And now it says, so I've got my vinegar. In it goes. My vanilla. And it goes. And then my corn flour. Quite the wrong implement for the corn flour, but that's okay. See, it didn't matter because I had a few extra seconds. All in. Beautiful. I think I did it in about 29 seconds. Go me. So, as I mentioned before, I do it on a rectangular baking tray because I'll show you what I said it is. Because I will store it in this, my Tupperware cake server, until the 10th of December. So my story is that many years ago, everyone said, you need to make more than 1 pavlova. It's not, one's not enough. So I made 2, but then other people bought desserts that year as well. So I always take them undressed and dress them just before we're going to eat them. So I didn't dress the second one because there were so many desserts, and I ended up taking it home. And then when I got home, I was sort of tidying up, and I grabbed this and I shoved it up in the pantry on the top shelf where it lives all year with the pavlova in it. Completely forgot about it. And then in May, when it was my husband's birthday, I thought, oh, I'll make a cake. I need my cake thing. Pulled it down. There's the pavlova. Looked perfect. It's full of sugar, right? So it's not going to go off. And so we ended up, I broke a bit off because I was like, is it all right? It looks good. Tastes good. So that night for dinner, I ended up breaking up the whole thing and we made an eaten mess. So we had berries and cream and whatever in May for birthday. So my point of that story is you can make your pavlova anytime, and as long as you've got it in an airtight container, it'll be perfect for Christmas Day. So I had it for 5 months. Christmas Day is less than 5 weeks. Right. So I'm going to just pop this down. So just going to pop it on here. Now, sometimes I do fun things and put what's it called? Food coloring, like a drop of food coloring, and then put a skewer, you know, with a skewer kind of draw little patterns and things. So around the edges, because obviously you're not going to see the middle because it's going to have all the things on it. But can you see how glossy that is? How good does that look?
That's amazing.
So my other little pav story is that when I was a kid, my nonna used to make the pav, and she was always known as the pav person, and she passed away about 13 years ago now. So we didn't have Pav for a couple of years. And then I got the Thermomix about 10 years ago and thought, I'm going to have a go. So since having a Thermomix, I have now become the Pav person, which is kind of a bit of a nice legacy for me to have kind of stepped into her shoes there. So that's my little Pav story. But the other thing is, the first time I made it, because of course I reached out, you know, we have a real brains trust of people who are so knowledgeable at Thermomix, and I reached out to one of them and just said, any hints, any tricks, any variation from the recipe? She went, no, just follow the recipe. So I would like to pass on that advice to you. Just follow the recipe. And the only thing, if you've only got one bowl, if you want to buy icing sugar, you could buy icing sugar, but make sure you buy pure icing sugar. Now, the other thing that I do is, because I've got all that on there, and I'm just going to pop it back in here and spin it off. Well, either that or you could lick it, your choice. Depends who's watching which one I do. So I'm just going to put that on just for a second. And then that has flicked that excess off. So that's a really good tip. You can never turbo with the butterfly in, but you can go up to speed 3 or 4. So now all the big lumps that were on there have come off. And I'm just going to give it a little tap. There's a little bit for me for later. Shh. And I'm going to have to run around the block with Diana.
Your girls might come in and lick it if you're not careful.
Yeah, I know. Shh. Keep it down. Don't let them know. The good thing is that the smell of the chutney means they can't, you know, it's going to throw them off the scent. And they do like chutney, but they're not going to race in for it, if you know what I mean. So there you go. And now I'm just going to tilt that down again. And I'm just really going to gently push that out a bit. Now, again, there's no, you know, it doesn't matter what it looks like. And even if it cracks or anything, you're going to put cream and bits on it. And that covers all manner of sins. But I just spread it out. It says in the recipe, it says to make it like a disc. But obviously, as I say, because I do it in the rectangle, I just pretty much do that. And then, you know, if you want to be fancy and do whatever, but really, that's pretty much it. So there you go.
Awesome.
And my Christmas Day Pav is done. Well, almost. So the other tip is I always make it at night because you've got to pop it in the oven. So you preheat the oven to 150. When you put it in, it straight away goes down to 120, cooks for an hour and 20, and then you've got to stay in till it cools down. So I always make it at night, and then it can just sit in the oven all night. I don't have to open it. No one else is going to open it. And then in the morning, I put it straight into the airtight container. So there you go. That's my tip for all of you there. So I think, have we seen everybody's goodies tonight? Oh, sorry. Who's still with me? Because in that time, my chutney beeped. And I did make one this morning, so I'll show you what it looks like when it sets. So the reason it said 24 hours was because it sits in the fridge to set, but you pop it in a jar and let it cool down first. Oh, here we go. And I'm going to put a pavlova spatula in the chutney. So it's reduced right down to really sort of thickened chutney. And I've got my little, let me tip that down for a second. My jam funnel, which has still never been used for jam, but I do love it. And it is something I got on the mix shop. Just going to spread these between the two. But I did make some of, that's full now, here. But I did make some of this morning. So I've got a full jar, which I'll show you as well, just how it's thickened. So
The other one that's really nice, there's a black garlic chutney as well, which is delicious.
Oh, nice. So here's one I made this morning. Here's one I prepared earlier. That just fit all in one jar, and that's been in the fridge. So you can put little tags and little things. If you're gifting them, those smaller jars are good. While we were chatting, I Googled Christmas jars, and Kmart came up with a set of 3 jars for $7 for a set of 3. And there were some other things as well. So if you search Christmas jars, those sorts of things, you'll find that lots of shops will have them at the moment. And those $2 shops do really well with that sort of stuff as well. And now that this is, because you saw sort of how runny it was when it went in, but now if you sort of look, it's actually sort of thickened up quite beautifully now. The other thing I love about this is that you meet people who go, oh, I really don't like chutney. And if you chat with them, it's often they don't like the sultanas and that, those sorts of things in it. So this is just really a caramelized onion. So it actually is people who don't like chutney generally like this. So you got your Christmas ham with a side of chutney and a nice bit of sort of tasty cheese or something on your plate. And that makes for a pretty delicious lunch, or using up the Christmas leftovers as well. Thank you, everybody. Have we all? Let me just grab you all and all just share, add our spotlight us all together. Thanks for hanging with us tonight, everybody.
So I just want to show that that's the size. It's one of those little jars that has filled, my Chilli Crunch has filled that. It is crunchy. I have tried some. And you can have it on eggs. You can have on noodles, whatever you want to add it to. It's a little bit of kick to, someone that you know in your family who likes a bit of a kick, then, or needs one, then give them some of this.
I love it. Thank you so much, Mandy. Thanks for that, Diana. And you've got...
Mine's already starting to set, so I can tip it over now and show you. So let that sit for another couple of hours. We'll pop it in the fridge and then slice it up into, you don't have to do little bite size. You can do nice big wedges as well, but wrap them up and they make great gifts. So I have to run and pick up a son from an activity this evening.
Go.
I know, I've got to run, but thank you, everyone, and have a great Christmas, but hopefully we'll catch you at the next cooking class before then.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Diana. Same thing for us. Bye, darling. Thanks, Julie. Any of yours left?
Pardon. I was trying to be polite. This is the first time I've been polite, isn't it, though? Like it almost seems, since when have I been polite? I really wanted to try this one day. This is deconstructed. So let's try this.
Yum.
Michelle, do you just mention our class next week?
Yes. So when we do the follow-up email, actually, we'll send you guys the link. But next Tuesday night, so if you've been watching along tonight and going, oh, that'll look so amazing, I wish I could taste it, you're in luck, because next Tuesday night we are running a face-to-face class at the Hyatt Bowling Club, and we do have tickets left, so you can book them through our website. And when we do the follow-up email tomorrow, we will include the booking link for you. So we're doing 8 different dishes, and then we'll have some other sort of things on display as well, and lots of hints and tips and fun interaction as well.